Question for you. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. There we go. Will you avoid the ultimate temptation? Did you know that's what chapter 3 of Revelation is about? Satan's goal is to tempt Christians away from God's plan. God's plan is to invade the world with little copies of Jesus Christ, Christians. To invade the world so that all over the world people live near one of these, or they ride a subway by one of these, or they go to school with one of these, Christians. And that's God's plan. And he really unfolded it amazingly right in these chapters we're talking about, because while these chapters were being written, soldiers that a generation before had been chained to the Apostle Paul. Can you imagine what those soldiers that were chained to Paul, what it was like? It'd be like being chained to Billy Graham or whoever you're, chained to Jack Wyrtzen, whoever you think the most super Christian is in the world. Can you imagine having a rotation for 4 years, 2 years in Caesarea, 2 years in Rome itself, of soldiers chained to Paul? Do you know what he did? He just constantly shared the gospel with them. He wrote about it in the Philippian epistle when either you've already studied it or you will. He said, "Those of Caesar's household greet you." What he was saying is soldiers chained to him, soldiers assigned with guarding him, protecting him from running away and not going to trial, were coming to Christ. And did you know those soldiers were rotated through because they only used the top legionnaires in Rome, but they didn't keep them there. They cycled them back out to the furthest parts of the empire. 30 years after Paul's death, there were Roman soldiers, we find through archaeology, having church services in almost all the Roman camps. If you've ever been to England, you can go to the Hadrian's Wall area, which is northern England, and they have all kinds of national parks, and they will actually take you on a tour and show you one of the most complete Roman soldier camps, and they can show you that in the commander of the camp's home was a Christian church. They found all of the markings, how they would mark Christian symbols and everything else there. God's plan is to invade the world. Satan says, you've got the power of the Spirit, you've got the giftedness, but I'm going to distract you from doing that. That's what the ultimate temptation is, and that's the ultimate temptation that faced this group. The churches that we're looking at, and specifically now, we're looking at Laodicea, the last church, so we've made it all the way around. They lived in this area, which is called the Roman province of Asia. This area was the most distracting part of the Roman Empire. In this area are more Greek temples that are in the country of Greece today. There are more Roman buildings in this area than there are in Italy. There are more distractions. This was the epicenter of the Roman Empire, okay? And so think about this. The book of Revelation was written by God. He could have written it to Antioch, which was right here, or over here, to the church in Jerusalem, or to Cyprus, where Barnabas was from, or, over here, Thessalonica, he could have included them, or Berea, which is right there, or Athens, which is about right there, or Corinth, that's right off the map. He didn't. Why? He wanted to show that Christianity works in the most self-seeking, lust-feeding culture. He targeted the heart of the Roman Empire, the most civilized, the most distracting. And the question is, did it work? Yes, it worked. You know how I know it worked? You're here today. People kept on sharing the gospel. Someone shared the gospel with you. Someone shared the gospel with them. Someone shared the gospel with the person that shared the gospel with them. You understand, God is still invading the world with little copies of Christ. And when you bump into one, it's a blessing. And they share their hope in Christ.